And yet, your wife is drowning. She is drowning in a sea of invisible, relentless cognitive labor, and you are standing on the shore, genuinely baffled. Welcome back to the deep dive. That line, wow, it's straight from PG Sebastian's work, and it doesn't just, grab you, it really makes you stop and think.
It really does.
If you're here, you're probably part of this whole movement, trying to build a relationship that's intended towards forever.
Right. And today we're tackling one of the biggest, thorniest issues in modern partnerships, that invisible weight, the mental load.
We're jumping into a really critical piece from the Steps to Forever ecosystem. It's called For the Man Who Wants to Be a True Partner, a guide to seeing and sharing the full load.
Exactly. And our whole mission today really is to get past the good intentions because so many couples get stuck there. We want to bridge that gap between, well-meaning confusion and a real co-equal partnership.
Because that's the starting point, isn't it? You've got a man who would genuinely step in front of a bus for his family. He loves them.
Oh, absolutely.
But he's just baffled. He can't understand why his partner is so resentful, so just exhausted all the time.
That's the core conflict right there. And it all seems to circle around that one question he asks, which feels so reasonable to him. Why didn't you just ask me for help?
Oh, that question.
And P.G. Sebastian's analysis, which pulls from his corporate background and his family counseling work, it just breaks down exactly why that question.
Yeah.
Well, why it lands like a lead balloon.
So why? Why is there still so much resentment even when the guy is, helping?
Because it was never about the physical tasks. It's about the cognitive responsibility. It's management exhaustion.
Right.
If you have to be asked, you're not a partner. You're an employee waiting for a task list. And so today, our job is to translate that feeling of drowning and then lay out a real practical roadmap for that huge shift a man can make
From helper.
to co-equal owner.
Okay, let's unpack that. The mental load. We have to get this right. PG Sebastian has this amazing analogy for it. It's so good because it's not about who does the dishes. It's about the constant cognitive work of managing all the tasks. Think of it like a computer's operating system just running in the background.
A browser tab analogy.
Browser tab analogy. It's brilliant.
So a man might look at his own brain and maybe he's got, 2 tabs open, work project, and gotta get a haircut. It feels totally manageable.
Totally. Meanwhile, his partner's browser has 100 tabs open.
Yeah.
All the time. And it's eating up all her mental RAM 24/7.
And these tabs aren't just chores. That's the key.
No, they're proactive. It's schedule the dentist. Notice we're almost out of toothpaste. When is the car's oil change due? Oh, we haven't checked on Aunt Susan. And, what's that weird cough our son has? It's the constant, relentless auditing and planning.
And that's where it all goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When she's totally overwhelmed and finally says, I'm exhausted, and he says,
Just make a list and I'll help.
and he means well. But what he's actually asking her to do is more mental work. She has to stop, audit the entire house, plan the week, delegate tasks, and then follow up. All so he can do the easy part, the execution.
She becomes the project manager for a job she's also the lead employee on. I mean, buying the toothpaste is nothing.
It's nothing compared to the cognitive burden of keeping a running inventory of every single thing in the house. That's why she's so tired. She's the only one who even knows what all the work is.
Now, PG's material is really clear that this blindness isn't, malicious.
Not at all. It's a generational script we've been handed. Men are taught to look outward for success, and the home's internal management just defaults to the woman. That script might not be your fault.
But it's absolutely your responsibility to rewrite it.
That's the line.
And that distinction is huge. So, be honest with yourself for a second as you're listening. Have you ever been genuinely confused when your partner says you don't see the work?
Yeah.
Acknowledging that the management is the real work. That's step one.
And once you acknowledge that, you can start to move away from being just a helper.
Okay, let's define these roles clearly because this is the core of the framework. Helper versus, what, a partner, an owner.
A helper's role is temporary. It's voluntary. A helper needs a manager, his wife, to tell him what to do. And when you help, you get praise. You get a thank you so much for doing a basic household task.
But that's not what partners want. They're not looking for praise for, living in their own house. They want equity.
Exactly. A partner, an owner, is a fellow stakeholder. They carry the full mental and cognitive load for their specific agreed-upon areas. The shift is philosophical. You adopt an ownership mentality like you would at work.
Okay, but hold on. I have to push back a little because this is where I think a lot of people get stuck. You hear the defense all the time, but I do help. I do the dishes every single night. I do all the yard work.
And those things are great. They
Yeah.
absolutely count. But they don't solve the mental load problem if they're just tasks. P.G. Sebastian says the real question isn't, did you do the task?
Did you notice the task needed doing?
Yes. And did you make sure everything needed to do it was there? Did you notice the dish soap was low? Or that the sponge needed replacing? Did you wipe down the counters after?
Ah, that's the difference between doing a task and owning a domain.
That's it right there. The guy who helps with dinner has to be told what to cook and when to start. The guy who owns the dinner domain, he does the meal plan, the grocery list, the shopping, the cooking, and make sure cleanup is ready to go.
So his partner doesn't even have to think about it.
She doesn't have to touch that domain mentally. And this all ties back to what PG calls the second shift. You both come home from work.
And one person clocks out and the other clocks in for their second unpaid job as household CEO.
Acknowledging that without getting defensive, that's the first truly powerful step you can take.
Okay, so if we accept that, stop helping, start owning, we need a plan. What's the practical roadmap PG Sebastian lays out? How do you actually liberate your partner from being the manager?
Well, it's not a chore chart. That just keeps her in the manager role. It's a full structural reengineering of the partnership, and it's based on 3 core steps.
All right, step 1 has to be the diagnostic, right? You have to see the problem first. The system audit. How does that work?
At the compassionate, objective look, for 1 week, both of you get a notebook and you track
Or
everything.
not just physical tasks.
Yeah, that's the key. You have to track the mental and emotional labor. Things like researched summer camps for an hour, or worried about the mortgage, or even listen to my spouse vent about their bad day at work.
That emotional support is work.
It is absolutely work. And when you put those 2 notebooks side by side at the end of the week, there's no more arguing. The data is right there.
Right.
It makes the invisible totally, undeniably visible.
Okay, that's powerful. You see the imbalance. What's next?
Step 2, transferring domains.
Yeah.
You don't just swap chores. You transfer full ownership of entire categories.
Okay, so give me an example. Let's use the one from the guide. Chief Operating Officer of Family Automotive. What does that actually mean?
It means you are 100% responsible for that vertical. You know when registrations are due, you schedule the maintenance, you handle the insurance, you decide when new tires are needed. Your partner asks 0 questions.
She becomes a passenger.
She gets the profound luxury of being a passenger in that part of her life. That's the liberation. She can mentally let it go.
So you have the audit, you have the ownership transfer, but how do you keep it all on track? Life gets chaotic.
That's step 3, and it's maybe the most important tool. The clarity meeting. P.G. Sebastian brings his manager brain to this. It's a non-negotiable 30-minute business meeting every Sunday night.
Like a C-suite check-in for the family. I love that.
That's the frame. You go over the calendars. You report on your domains. My domain is finances. All bills are scheduled. My domain is kids education. Permission slip is signed. I'm ready for the parent-teacher conference.
It sounds a little clinical, but the goal is actually deeply emotional, isn't it? Deeply. Because what you're doing is eliminating 90% of the daily friction, the nagging, the resentment. You're replacing that parent-child dynamic with a real partner-to-partner dynamic built with clarity.
Okay, let's talk about the hard part, the execution, because you're going to mess up at first.
Oh, you will. PG is very clear about this. You will absolutely fail. You'll forget the permission slip, you'll buy the wrong diapers, and your partner, who's been doing it perfectly for years, will have this massive urge to just take it back.
That's the moment of truth right there.
Yeah.
How do you handle that stumble?
You have to hold on to ownership. Firmly, but lovingly. You say, I messed up, I'll fix it, and I'll learn. This is still my domain. That single act of accountable failure is more loving than 10 years of perfect help.
Because it proves you're reliable. It proves you're not going to drop it. And that finally gives her permission to actually let go.
Exactly.
You know, the goal here isn't just a house that runs better. It's so much bigger than that. It is. The ultimate reward. P.G. Sebastian puts it so well. He says, the reward is not just a cleaner house. The reward is that you get your partner back.
Wow.
When she's free from being the CEO, when she's not drowning anymore, she's free to be your lover, your friend, your equal again.
You create the space for real intimacy to come back. That's how you build something intended towards forever.
That's how you build a marriage where you both finally actually get to rest.
Okay, let's do a quick recap. The actionable takeaways from this deep dive. Number 1, the mental load is the management, not the task. It's the 100-tab browser.
2, stop helping. Start truly owning entire domains.
And 3, put that framework in place. The system audit, the domain transfer, and that weekly clarity meeting.
That's the clarity that turns good intentions into a real partnership. And if you're ready to go deeper, we really encourage you to explore the whole Steps to Forever ecosystem and all of P.G. Sebastian's work.
He's a certified family counselor, and he brings this unique lens from his corporate background and his specialized knowledge in diverse relationships, including with his Ghanaian partner, to help couples build these incredibly strong foundations.
We really hope these insights become a companion for you
Mm-hmm.
on your drive, at your desk, wherever you are. Thank you for making this part of your mission.
And thank you so much for your support. Please subscribe, turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive.
Because forever should be built with clarity.
We'll see you next time.